Hello and welcome to Dialog Editor tutorial with GraphView. Yeah. So today we're going to make the dialog node. So let's get right into it. Remove all the things we don't need. Make it inherit from the base node. Alright, so we actually need to do so it can have different languages. Unfortunately, we can't use a dictionary for this. That would make it a lot easier because a dictionary is not serializable. Meaning when we are saving it with the scriptable object, sometimes it will ignore that you are saved. I'm not entirely sure what goes on there, but I have just noticed that that doesn't work. So I found a workaround. So in our scriptable object, we are simply going to make, let me fast check my notes. I'm sorry about this, yes. We're going to make a generic way of saving data. So in here, we are actually going out on the other side and going public class and calling it language. Just gonna make sure I'm spelling this correctly. Language generic. So we are going to use a generic here. Beautiful. So what is a generic exactly? Well, a generic is that we just tell it that whatever you put in here will become the thing we are using. So what exactly does it mean? That means we will have a public language type that is just language type. I will then have a public t simply called language. Let me just make sure I'm spelling this correctly again. Generic type. At least that's what I'm going to call it. That means whatever we put in here, so that if we put in a string, it becomes a string. If we put in an audio clip, it becomes an audio clip. So now we will save this and simply go into our dialog. There it is. So now when we go back in here, we can then go private. I think we need a list of it as well. A list of language generics, and this needs to hold all the different text from all the different languages. We're simply going to see that's a string. All right, and we're going to call this. Let's just call it the text. We say that is equal a new one. So now we have a list ready to be used. However, we also want some audio. So now we can actually, let's just copy the line. Copy the whole line and just call this. I think it's audio. Audio clips. Just add a s after so we know it's the reason why I add a s after text is then I know it's a list. That's just my way of telling if it's a list or array. So now we just need to change the string here to audio clip and change it over here as well. So this way we have now made a list of audio clips. Now we have made a list of different texts. Wonderful. We also want a string that we're just gonna call that name so we know who is speaking. I'm just gonna say it's equal empty string. Let's see, what more do we need? Oh, we also need the picture of who is talking. So we need. Why won't it? Is it me who's too fast? Yep. Wonderful. That is a sprite. We're just gonna call that face image. Yep. Let's see, what more do we need? We have the text, the audio, the name, the face. Oh yeah, we need a way to actually tell what way, what direction we want the face to be in. So let's go in here. So when the blue guy is talking, we want his blue face to be popping up here. And when the red one is talking, we want the red ones to be popping here. So we also want it not to be visible when the blue is when blue is talking, the red face is not visible. So we also want to make a new enum for that. Let's just go in the enum and let's just call it dialog. Oh, just gonna make sure I spell this correctly. Dialog face image type. That is a horrible name. But that is what we're going to call this. Oh. Alright, so we are going to say enum. And that was just gonna be left and right. That's pretty much it. Then we're gonna jump back here and go dialog face type. And let's just go face type. There we go. Beautiful. I think that should be it for now. Okie dokie. So now we also need to make all the properties for it. Let's just do that. Da, 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 da. Now we have all the properties, so we can easily find them elsewhere. See, now we actually have quite a lot in here as well, because now we actually need to have the... I don't think we actually need that, though, do we? Do we need those there? Let me just fast check my notes. Yeah, we need them. Alrighty. Alright, so first one is going to be a private. That is a object field. So object field. So we are gonna add the reference. That one is just going to be text. Let's just go text and then underscore field. Let's just go with that. We need two more fields, so I'm just gonna copy paste and go audio. Oh, audio. If I could spell it correctly, that would be really nice for me. Audio clips. Audio clips. And the other one. Yeah, which one is the other one? 2 seconds. Oh yeah, that's the image. Let's move the image one up. Go. Generally just call that. Let's just call it sprite. No. Image, face image. Let's just call it face image. No need to change how much that works. And then we just need a text field. If I could spell that correctly, that would be also be nice. Text field. There we go. And that is just name underscore field. Then we need the last one, which is a enum field. Enum field. That is face image. Oh, remember the big one. Face image type underscore field. Alrighty. Let me just check something fast. Da, 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 da. Yep, alright. So we are of course going to make the empty constructor. That is simply just dialog node. And we're going to make the other empty constructor, which is also a dialog node. Well, of course, this is not empty. My bad. Vector2 underscore position. Then the dialog editor window, and then dialog graph view. Where do we have graph view? There we have it. And graph view. Just make the underscores. Go. Oh, did we actually forget that one over here? Didn't we? Let's just check. Yeah, as we can see here, we forgot this one, the last one in the event node. We forgot, so let's just add that in here. And then in here, of course, we just need this. That's my bad. So title is now equals, just gonna call it dialog. Okie dokie. So, now we actually need to make each of those generic lists up here. So those lists here now needs to actually be made. For that we need to go through pretty yeah. So that's a weird. Sorry, I'm just caught in my own thoughts right now. So that's gonna be, we're gonna check for each language types. So if I, so there we go, language type. We're just gonna call that language. And then we need to make a kind of a big oof, in my opinion. So that's, we're gonna call enum dot, oh, don't we have the, we need system. So we're gonna call enum dot get values. And we need to tell it what types of values we need. And we want the values of, we want the type of value of language type. So now we're gonna get all the values, but we also need to tell it that the values we are getting is actually an array of language. So we need to go and say we want it to be cast as a language array type. It's kind of a big, but so what we're pretty much doing, we're saying we want the enum type, the types of the language, and we want it returned as an array of language array. That means we will now go through each language in language type, so we can go. So we will now be returned as English, German, and Danish. Alright. So now we can go text dot, oh, why did it, oh, there it came, dot add. And that is now a new language string. And we're just going to make those big brackets here. What? Let's actually make it more readable. So we're going to say that language type is now equals the language. Is equal. Why won't it pick the language? There we go. So it's now equal this language up here. And the language text in it, we're just going to set that to be like an empty string. But it's not a completely empty string, but there's something in it. Then we need to do the same thing for the audio. So audio clips dot add new language clips. tell it the language types is now equals language. Oh, just the language, thank you. And the language generation is just equals null. There we go. The reason why I'm saying it's null is simply because I don't know if that is actually going to become. Can't remember if we get some arrows this way, but I'm pretty sure we need to specify it. But we might have to return later on to check up on this one here. Alright, so now we actually fill those up here so they are ready to be used. So let's see what we more need to do. I'm just checking my notes fast, sorry about that. Alright, maybe we should actually do that thing we normally do on the other ones. As you can see over here, we actually set up all the stuff first. So let's just do that up here as well. So we're gonna set position. Position is equals a new rectangle, which is just position dot default size of the node. And then we need to tell it the node gundy. Yeah, that. And let's see, that's dot string. And remember, this one here is simply just making a unique ID. Yeah, unique string ID. Alright, so we just want one input. Here, so we're just gonna go, this is input. And again, just for consistency, we are going to tell it that is I know the input should be a multiple, right? Yeah, it should be able to take multiples. We're gonna save that one. Alrighty, so you probably have noticed that we haven't made a single output node yet. And that is because, yeah, what's it called? Because we want to be able to add different output nodes. So we're actually going to add a function later on that does so we can add the output nodes that we want ourselves. So let's just make all the fields for the dialog node. So we need the fields for the text, for the audio, for the face, image, name, and image types. Alright, let's make that then. So we're gonna go text field equals new object field. And inside that we're gonna go object type is equals to type of that must be this is a good question. Yeah. This is text, so I guess that would just be string. Let me just fast check on my notes to be sure. Where do we have it? Oh, we're actually doing that here, alright. So, let's see, we have the... My notes actually tells me we are just using a text field instead. So, let's just follow my notes. I'm funding an old system that I made long ago. So I just hope that my old notes still works. So that's nice. Alright. And that just tells me to go like this. Why is that giving an error? Is that because it's the wrong type of field? I guess. Text field. Let me just fast check my notes again. Really? Oh yeah. You of course need to change this also to a text field. My bad. When you're checking your notes, you should probably read them through before you start the video, right? Right, so text node dot register a callback, and that will be the value, if I could spell that correctly. Now that we're gonna do the fancy, oh, did I do that wrong? I did do that wrong. We need to do this, and then go value, and then make the scope for it. I'd like to do it this way here. Alright, so now that finally is on point. Let me just fast check my notes again, just to make sure we're not doing any oopsie again. Alright, so I hope you're ready for a doozy now. So we're gonna go text dot find, because we need to find the specific language. So I'm just gonna spell it out. So language dot x, oh no, language dot, guess that would actually be text. Yeah, text ducks language, where we then check up with the editor window language type. So now we're checking up what language we are using right now. We're doing that in the editor window, and we then want to plug in or change the value of that specific one. So, oh, let's see, why is it? Oh yeah. So value dot new value. All right. So what we're doing here is that we are looking through our text, which is a bunch of language generics of strings, so pretty much all the strings. So first we are asking which text is equals, let's say, English, and then we can see that the editor window is English right now, so it will find the one that is English in the list of language generic of the strings, and then take that text and then plug the new text in. So meaning when we are out here, that's just loading, and we are in English, and we change some text in here, it will then change the English text. But if we go in and take German, and then go in and change it, it will then go in and change the German text. I hope that makes sense. Alright, so next up we need to go text field dot set value, and that is going to be text dot find again. That's immediately going to make this entire thing again. Text dot language equals editor dot language dot language generic. Alright, so we're also going to tell it that the specific language when we load it in. So if it is English, it will start out with loading the English language when you open it up, and if it is in Danish, it will load in the Danish one. That way around, we don't have to click and load every time. Just when we open it, it is already ready to be used. gonna go text field dot multiple lines. We're gonna set that to true. This way, we can then make it wasn't just be one long line. We can make multiple lines by pressing the enter key, like this. If this one up is false, you will not be able to have line words downwards, meaning you will have one long ass dialog node. So that's always nice to do. Alright, let's see, should we? I guess we should. We're gonna go text field dot add to class, just so we can uncover this text box. This way we'll be able to actually customize the text field itself. I find that to be helpful. So now we're just going to say main container dot add. And this is where we are adding it in the on the node. There is output container, input container, top container, and main container. I think those are the 4 choices you have. I'm just gonna use the main container, that's the bottom one, and add it in there. Alright. So I actually think I'm going to cut the video here because my voice is hurting. So I just need a break. So we'll be right back.